Vice had or no, it wasn't Vice. It was like an Instagram story thing, right? And it's an old guide to finding a husband, like back in the day from the 80s. And they have all these photos, and we'll put some of the photos up. But basically, they used to have these books, right? And people get mad at them, like, can you believe they used to do this stuff? So tell me if you think it's good advice for girls or don't.
I think I maybe saw this. Yeah.
I might have showed you it last week.
Oh, okay.
I had it on my phone.
I think I liked it.
Don't be too familiar with your escort by caressing him in public. An open flow of affection embarrasses him, especially in public. So it's like, don't be too like touchy-feely and like kissing him. It's like, so far you go,
so far so good,
pretty reasonable, right? Some of this stuff where you look at it and they're just like, because girls are like, look, like it's getting posted as like, can you imagine girls used to get this advice? And
all guys are like, the good old
Well, the
days.
reason why they think it's offensive is because they think of it, they take it out of context and they go, girls are being told this, but it's like, yeah, and guy have a version of it like, hey, if you're trying to pick up girls, do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is the girls like, hey, if you're trying to get a husband, like this is the way to do it.
And girls just hate being told what to do.
They do not like that.
No.
Yeah. But it's like objectively, some of it is true. One of the best ones, they go, don't be too familiar with the head waiter. And that's like the, head waiter talking about the fun you had with someone else another time. Men deserve your entire attention. It was like another pretty good advice. Like, dude,
don't flirt with the waiter.
That's an Andrew Tate one, but it really is like the number one. If you go to a girl to like a bar and she knows all the staff, she knows the bouncer, gets her in for free, you're like, this girl's way too on the scene.
Of course.
Like it's like so obvious you don't want a girl that's just like knows every guy at every club.
No, hell no.
Hell no, right?
Even if there's nothing there, your imagination is going to run wild.
It's just one of those things, right?
Yeah.
You're just like, okay, so she's just been party girl of the year, banged all these guys.
Yeah, not ideal.
Don't use your car mirror to fix your makeup. He needs it for driving. That one's, I think you can use the car mirror if you want to fix the makeup.
I think that was legitimately written before there was like a mirror on the passenger side.
Maybe. Yeah. Don't drink too much. A man expects you to keep your dignity. Some girls may seem clever, but most of them seem silly. It's like, don't get crazy drunk on a first date.
Yeah.
Like they're all like pretty
I don't think
reasonable.
this is a first date though. This is just in general. This is like life advice forever.
In public, I think in public you don't want to get too sloppy drunk, but if you're like, just period anyone, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could have a guy one where it's like, if don't like fucking get drunk and punch walls at a fucking, don't get into a guy one would be like, don't get into a fight like immediately
or
at a
blackout
fucking
drunk
function.
on a first date either.
Mm-hmm. Don't sit in awkward positions and look bored. And then the other one's like only talk about stuff he wants you to talk to. That one I don't really agree with that much because he goes, well, it says basically don't talk about your clothes, or describe your gown. Flatter him by talking about things he wants.
That's
to
how you know
to.
It's old, because they say gown.
I know, but to me, I would be like, yes, it is being like, don't talk about boring shit like your gown that he doesn't want to talk about. But at the other side of it, there is like, I don't want a girl like pretend like you want to. I feel like I could tell if a girl is like. When a girl, you know how a lot of people do like the win friends and influence people stuff, and they just ask a lot of questions about yourself.
Course, yeah.
That actually annoys me.
Sure. Well, because you know the playbook.
I know, yeah, because I can see it.
Yeah.
It actually annoys me, like a lot of times when people are like, "Oh, how are you doing this? How's this?" And I'm just like, I don't know. I don't want. Like, I feel like we're having like a fake. This is
it's
fake.
like an interview. You're like, this feels like being
interviewed.
You're being interviewed. Not
there's a
a
lot of people do that where they just ask you a lot of questions instead of like actually being a human.
Yeah.
And it bothers me.
Yeah, I agree.